working on kind of a preliminary alignment, and what I'm trying to do is set the caster in camber. I don't have any weight on it, obviously, so this can change when we get the truck fully assembled. I'll have to do a final alignment after the truck is completely finished. But I wanted to get kind of a rough preliminary done on it. So what I'm trying to do, these trucks don't have very much positive caster from the factory, and there's not a lot of adjustment for the caster. The way you adjust your caster is to put more shims in the front and less in the back, or vice versa. The stock spec on this is, let's see here. Plus or minus 1 degree. That's the stock spec on the caster. So I want positive caster, which means I want the top ball joint to follow behind the bottom ball joint. They drive better that way. But I want as much as I can get. So according to the manual, you have to have at least a certain amount of shims here. I can't remember what it was. You don't have to put any shims back here, but I'm going to. Now, you can only have 0.3 thicker shims in the front than you can in the back. For whatever reason, that's what the book says. So, I measured these, and I'm within those limits. I'm at 282.282, and right now I have 0.9 degrees of negative camber. So I've got all the caster I can have, positive caster that I can get out of it, and I've got 89, well, it's not 89, it's 0.9 degrees of negative camber, which is where your wheels lean in at the top, is a negative camber. So that's what I'm shooting for, is about 1 degree. So 0.9, that's close enough. I'm not going to be able to get it any better. So I'm going to check the specs on these two, and I'm going to set those up and torque them down, and we'll be good on this side. Then I'm going to go over to the other side and do that. Now, let me just check to see. Okay, you got to have at least 0.10 inch of shim on the front side of this right here, and then no more than 0.3 thicker than the back. That's all it says about how many shims you got to have. And it also says if you can't get it within spec and still have 2 threads showing behind this nut here, then something's bent or something's tweaked or something's wrong with it. And it said to start checking your control arms and ball joints and everything else. Now, these are the stock shims here. I've got one little shim out of the shim assortment kit that I bought from Harbor Freight. Then I've got these 2 shims here. Those are out of a Moog shim set that I bought. I bought a box of shims from Moog, but they are all 1/16. So I bought the assortment kit from Harbor Freight. I get 64ths, I get 32nds, I get 1/8. So I've got a little bit more adjustment there. But I'm going to go ahead and get the torque spec, and I'm going to torque these nuts to where they're supposed to be, and I'm going to leave it at that because I'm 0.9 negative camber, and I've got all the positive caster I can get. The book calls for 70 foot-pounds On these, I'm going to go to 40 first, which is already there. Guess I got everything I thought I had. And then I'm going to go to 55, I think. I might already have. Okay. Then I'm going to go to 65. Actually, no, I'm just going to go right on up to 70 from 55. We'll just go from there. All right. 70 foot-pound. One other thing, we didn't talk about toe-in. I've got the toe-in on this thing set perfectly at 0. There's no toe-in or toe-out at all at the moment. What I'm going to do is I'm going to wait until the truck's got weight on it. You know, to be the last thing I do is recheck the alignment. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to check with it fully built, because as the suspension moves, the toe-in is going to change. Your camber and caster are going to change. So I'm going to recheck it when the truck is complete. But for right now, I've got a real good preliminary alignment set up on it. All right, if you get anything out of that, like, share, subscribe, all the stuff.